welcome Zoe to the show.
Hello, excited to be here.
Yes. So I want to give a little bit of background about you, and you can fix it if I screw up anywhere. But what I know about Zoe, so first of all, I've met Zoe and seen Zoe involved with a lot of women's groups here in New York, and she is very passionate and she is authentic. And that's what it takes to be a Wonder Woman, in my opinion. I'll ask you about yours later. But she is very passionate about women's issues and strives to ensure that every woman is equipped with the proper tools to excel your career in your way, right? And she's currently a corporate development integration specialist at KPMG. She'll talk about KPMG because I don't know much about taxes, except that you have to do them. And she drives integration improvements for U.S. acquisitions. Zoe's very involved with other women's groups that she's going to talk about today, and how we met through the Quorum Initiative as well. I want you to talk about that. And most notably, I think we want to talk about today some of the research that's been done on advances or things that lack of advances in funding of women's businesses and women's startups. I know you're on the Leadership Council for Now. Is it Now or no? Sorry. KPMG's network of women, and that you've led over 22 professional development programs, positively impacting 22,000 women. And yeah, I mean, that's a big number. And that you're also involved, and you're going to talk about this national mentorship program, Global Give Back Circle, right? Which provides mentors to young women in Kenya. So there's a lot here, blows me away, I love it. I'd like to start by asking you a little bit about where does this passion actually come from? Because you are really out there, you're making impact, and I know that you're not doing it because you're at KPMG. I know it's because it's who you are. So talk to us about that a little bit.
Sure. You know what? I think the passion arose for me not so much in high school, but in college it developed a little bit, and that's when I saw my leadership come out. And I was heavily involved with the diversity network there specifically.
Where did you go to school?
I went to school at SUNY Fredonia, at SUNY School, upstate New York.
Freezing.
It's freezing. It's in the town of Fredonia. It's 45 minutes away from Buffalo. But I really got great experience there. And that is really where I started to see my leadership shine and come out and, get my passion.
Very cool. Very interesting. So, talk a little bit about what you're doing now at KPMG with your women's initiative, and how you think that's not just supporting women at KPMG, but maybe having impact on the community as a whole.
Sure. So really involved with our women's initiative, and I have the ability to work with a number of great people and partners at KPMG, and people always talk about, so what makes KPMG, and it is the people. We just have a great network of people that are really supportive. So I wanted to say that hands down. Every time we come together and strategize, it's really a great feeling. So hands down on that. I would say over the past 3 years, we probably saw an uptick of attendance in event, because we started to shake it up. Women's events really started to shake it up. So as an example, we had about 2 years ago, Dr. Jen Wilder, who was the first female NFL coach, right? Attendance shot up. She's phenomenal.
That is, I actually know a lot about that women's football league.
Yeah, she's really great. We also recently had Robin Osborne, who is involved with Peloton, so she was really great. We had Stacey London from What Not to Wear. She gave a talk. So that was really interesting. And you know what?
And entertaining.
Entertaining, yeah. But what we saw, even though women are in different industries, the challenges are similar, right? So whether or not you are in the fitness industry, whether or not you are in football, the challenges are the same.
Right.
You may kind of
You're a woman.
be the only one. You are a woman. You have to kind of push past that. So we saw an uptick. It was really great. What I think, which is really great about our women's network, is that they're not afraid to be innovative. They are not afraid to listen to those that are not necessarily at the leadership level, because they have different type of needs, and adjust. So it's been great.
And so how do you see, when we talk about leadership, right? Because this show is a lot about leadership. How do you see, just taking a look at microscopically in your case at KPMG, how do you see women's leadership advancing there? And and how has it maybe made changes internally on how business is done, or has it?
So you know what, I will tell you this as an example. So, as an example, we started as a firm looking at the value of female entrepreneurs company. I don't know if many people know this, but Rent the Runway, which is an organization that a number of people use, KPMG is the order, right? I use them as well. They're great.
Dresses.
I love the dresses as well. So KPMG
Yeah.
is the auditor. We actually also had another No event about a year ago, Her Big Idea, where we highlighted female entrepreneurs and the impact there. So I think KPMG, a number of great organizations, other companies
Partnering with other organizations, bringing it in and growing the community.
Absolutely.
That's
and they're
very
able
cool.
to see the value of a client base of women. So that's where you're starting to see a shift.
I like
In
that.
terms of our women internally, well, we're always looking for all corporations to see the number of female partners increase. But what I like about what we do with our internal network, we give our younger women the ability to lead. So I don't necessarily, even if you may not necessarily be a manager in your current practice, you can come on our event and lead, because you have to kind of learn those leadership skills, understand what it means to express your voice, guide people, and just have impact. So we give them the ability to do that, and I will tell you, I just love seeing them shine. I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Right. We were Kate, Lucy, and I were just talking about that. About it's our job, right, to really be there to mentor them in such a way.
Absolutely.
That's cool. So do you see other companies having that type of structure? Like, what other companies do you think do a good job?
You know what? I do think, well, what other companies do a good job? Paul Hastings.
Oh, hello. And she was on the podcast.
Yeah,
episode number 3. Meg Sullivan.
Was on the podcast.
Agreed, of course. Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit for our newer listeners and watchers that don't know about the Quorum Initiative, Paul Hastings. Talk about that a little bit.
Right. So Meg Sullivan is a genius, marketing genius.
Agreed.
She is a chief marketing officer at Paul Hastings, and she also birthed the Quorum Initiative, which is an organization for female executives designed to connect and promote executive women. And so that is really interesting because it shows you the power of networking, right? So I met Meg,
and then we met,
and kind of like introduced Meg, and you featured Meg. So the power of networking is really real. But you talked about or asked about what is another great organization doing great female initiatives.
Yes.
And Quorum is. I mean, she has a number of events through the Quorum initiatives throughout the year. She has a conference, and definitely kind of that's one of the organizations I stay engaged with.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely fantastic. All right, so let's talk about a little bit about your research.
Yeah.
And what you're into and what you're passionate about. Talk a little bit about what are the numbers saying today about female startups?
Right.
Where is it now? Where is it going? Why? Where do you personally, because you know about it, think that things need to change there?
Right. So I will tell you, the research shows that the number of female startups or companies growing has increased substantially, right? So you look at the number of business surged 58%, which is great. Total employment by women-owned businesses rose 21%. Total revenue rose. So those are great.
And those are those national numbers or?
Those are national numbers.
Okay.
And based on about 2018 to 2019.
2018.
Right.
Okay.
So those are national numbers. So positive numbers. Now, in terms of those that are being funded, and this is kind of where the conversation shifts, that the number of female venture capital or acquisition funding going to female entrepreneurs is still only about 2.2%. So that's low. And you like the number of corporate procurement going to women-led businesses is about 1%. So there's kind of still much that's needed to be done in that area.
Wow.
And there are a few organizations working to kind of change that. But although it's still an area that we all need to focus on and really kind of have an impact on.
Yeah. So what do you think needs to be done? What are the first steps?
So in terms of the first steps, and this is really interesting, and I'm excited to kind of really get into this at your brand new conference. I think we need to teach women the science or the behavior in terms of speaking to a venture capitalist funding, right? So there is a certain type of theme in anything you do, and you just do format after format after format.
Right.
We need to make sure that women are knowledgeable about what that format is, repeat it, and remove the emotion from it. So repeat,
I love it. Remove the emotion.
Remove the emotion from it. The other aspect of it is there are not that many female mentors in the area, so that needs to kind of increase as well.
That's true. Or like you're talking about, so for example, a female-funded company.
Correct.
Becoming a mentor and maybe doing something.
Right, absolutely.
That makes a
For
lot of
other
sense.
females.
That's
So,
a really good
this
idea.
is really how the impact that you kind of highlight this and
Yeah.
not this. It's just a coaching series.
Yeah.
So kind of like in being clear in terms of what that behavior looks like, in terms of what you're highlighting, what your pitch book should look like.
Right.
Don't say too much. Say to, don't
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
and have your
Level.
advisors and your mentors. And I think it's good. Just being transparent about the process.
So at KPMG, talk a little bit about what you do in layman's terms and how that may affect female startups and growth and exit strategies, like just a little bit, so people kind of understand.
Sure. So at KPMG, we have a corporate development department, which is responsible for the firm's internal mergers and acquisitions. And so we realistically look at like all companies based on where the firm wants to grow. So not necessarily male or female, just kind of like in a specific industry.
Okay.
So that's how we do it. And it ranges from small companies to large companies, but just want to make sure that the firm has a footprint in a certain type of area that they're looking to advance.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. So, I want to talk about you a little bit.
Okay.
We talked about KPMG. We talked about numbers. Now let's talk about you.
Okay.
And your values and how you came up and maybe some things along the way in your career or even in your personal development that led you here. Like some characteristics. Can you talk about like the Zoe back then, the Zoe now?
Sure. So I will tell you. So I grew up in the Bronx. I am from the boogie down Bronx, right? I am a New Yorker.
Yes. I'm from Boston, so I can't. We should be fighting the Red Sox and the Yankees. But anyway, it's fine.
We're friends.
We're
today,
still friends.
right?
It doesn't really matter. I don't care. But
So
keep going.
I grew up in the Bronx. It was a great experience. Always went to school in Manhattan and Harlem. Have a number of friends that I'm still close with. My family is close. I'm close with my mother. My father lives in Syracuse. I have 2 brothers. So that's fun. And then I think that I always had a good family, strong unit that's always opinionated, right? And so
You think?
I think
It's a good thing.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing. And I have a strong mother who told me to speak my mind. Could tell. So she's always been very, very supportive in that and gave me exposure to different things. I was involved in the Dance Theater Harlem when I was younger, so that was fun.
The what?
Dance Theater Harlem.
Ooh.
And so I know how to tap and do ballet. But
And we have Princess Lockerloo at our event here at Luminary.
Okay.
September 26th. Maybe you guys will have a dance off.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll stand in the back.
So that's kind of like what shaped me. And then I grew into college, and then I think along the way I just found a knack and a love for people. And I think that's what my secret sauce is. I really enjoy engaging with people. I really enjoy.
You're curious.
I'm curious, and I really like.
And that's
helping
what makes people
succeed.
successful.
Yeah.
It just does.
Yeah. I like helping people.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Well, Kate and I were talking about, and a lot of my guests I talk about the importance of supporting each other.
Yes.
Because, like you said, women have different obstacles, but it's all the same thing, as you were saying.
Right.
We're women.
Right.
So what are some of the ways that you support women, whether it's mentoring, coaching, volunteering, groups that you think maybe my Wonder Women audience might want to take part in? Anything about that, like resources, groups, associations?
Absolutely. So I will tell you that there are definitely a few. One of which, first one, is the Association for Corporate Growth. I recently joined there. Yes.
Association for Corporate Growth.
Corporate Growth,
Okay.
Women of Leadership. I recently joined that committee, and that's a really great organization that is really facilitating connecting women between senior level, middle market community, so they can share experiences and contacts with each other. They have a number of great events, one of which is they have a dinner series. The topic is still going to be outlined, but look out for information for that. I will share it on my social media, and it's going to be a great, impactful topic with an intimate number of women, which is really great. So you get that personalized attention. They also have their annual summit coming up in January 2020. Date is still being confirmed, but that is really going to be a great powerhouse event. So whether or not you are an M&A, middle market, if you are an entrepreneur, it's a really great event to kind of get professional development, get a nice pump, really kind of like network and just kind of build your brand a little bit more. So those are kind of 2 two things. On the flip side of that, there's also another great organization, SHEO. And SHEO is one of those organizations really trying to disrupt the number of female entrepreneurs
I've heard of this.
not being supported. So they have a number of activists.
Is that funded by the government, or is that its own?
No.
Is it a nonprofit?
It is not a nonprofit, so it is funded by activators. So individuals like you and me,
Like almost like a
crowdsourcing. You and me who do not have a problem with funding great female companies.
Ooh, I like it.
So SHEO is another great organization, and I will definitely share my information after. If anyone is interested in getting involved in any of these organizations, they are great. Reach out to me. The Quorum Initiative is another great one, which we talked about.
Yeah.
Definitely do the Quorum Initiative, and but there are a number of great organizations, and I think sharing information is also good.
It's so important.
It's important, and we kind of need to do that a little bit more, because a lot of women are seeking and searching and don't know necessarily where to go to kind of align with great organizations. But I'm happy to be a vessel.
Well, thank you. I mean, happy to be a vessel. I like that. Zoe's a vessel of information. Because there is this divide, right? Which is what I was going to ask you about. You know, the core, and that's why I'm so happy you're here today, because a lot of the women that I have on the podcast are entrepreneurs. I want the other side of the fence. I want to understand how you think corporate can continue to support entrepreneurs in their cities. You know what I mean? Because we're running in different paths.
Right.
So how do we come together? You know, is it just through events like, you know, my Brand New Conference, which is sponsored by corporate? Is it just events? Or do you see opportunities to do something bigger?
You know what? There's always an opportunity to do something bigger. I would tell every specific group, even female entrepreneurs, all of us should not be comfortable staying in our space. So if your number one network of individuals is only female entrepreneurs, you need to diversify. And you need to make sure that you are kind of attending events like this ACG, because there'll be more than female entrepreneurs. If you are not kind of tied into a venture capitalist, then how far can you go? If you are not tied into kind of like a marketing strategist, how far can you go? So female entrepreneurs also need to make sure to diversify, and the same thing with corporate. So we as well.
That's what I deal with in my business.
Really need to diversify as well, and you can kind of like have lessons from each. Look, so I just told you that at KPMG for our signature event, we hosted people that are not in corporate finance, right? And so that was like really interesting because their stories are inspiring, they're relevant, and they're moving the needle. So it's really important to diversify. Yeah,
it's all the similar character traits, right?
Absolutely.
So those are really good tips. Couple other things that you think, just in general, how would you define a Wonder Woman in business, and what do you think are some tactical things that a woman can do to support women in business and to be successful herself?
So I would say that Wonder Woman in business she has integrity, right?
Oh yeah.
She is courageous. She helps others. She is she is a leader in her field and in community, in the world. And what I would say is a Wonder Woman in business, you know that she was there. And so I can kind of always pinpoint those women. I'm attracted to those women, and I enjoy helping other women, even myself, transform into that woman.
Yeah.
So
but I love that you started with integrity.
No, absolutely.
Because that's number one for me.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Number
one.
Integrity is really important.
It's those character traits. So it's like stripping down the shininess of the image. Even though I deal in the world of personal branding and social media, I actually look for what's the core, the soul of the person.
And people can sense inauthenticity
these days, and it's we're on Facebook Live.
We are.
You know?
We are, absolutely.
It's visible, it's out there. Right?
And in terms of tactical, we talked about when we were looking at female entrepreneurs and venture, there is a theme to anything, right? And so when you kind of are talking about success and being tactical, there's a theme to that as well, and it's a behavior. So what I say on some level is when you are kind of planning out your week, it's important to kind of plan, I would say you could do more, 5 to 10 hours for success on you. And you have to really
success on you. I like that, Zoe Bogan.
You do.
That's her new brand. Zoe Bogan, success on you.
Absolutely. Plan that out. That's my book. I'm gonna write it.
No, I'll write it for you. But
plan out that time. Plan out that time. Also, really, we talked about it too. Think about your network. What does your network look like? And how are you advancing your network? Who do you have in your network? Who do you have to meet? When you kind of attend these networking events, be really strategic about it.
Absolutely.
So you don't have to get 10 cards. Realistically,
it's not a numbers game.
It's not
Listen,
a numbers game.
so can I tell our audience how you and I met?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'm not a morning person. That's an understatement in life. I'm a night person.
Right.
But anyway, but there's this great monthly, and I was there this morning.
Me too.
I didn't see you.
I missed you.
That's all right.
But see,
Doesn't matter. We met the first time. So there's this great monthly breakfast at Morgan Stanley.
Absolutely.
Who may or may not be the brand new conference host. We will. That is yet to come.
Okay.
Episode 12. But anyway, so I went to this breakfast that I go to, and I've been going to it for years. And there was this woman in the back with like this big smile, and it was at the end, right?
Right.
And I just said, "Hi, I'm Jasmine. Who are you? Hi, I'm Zoe."
Yep.
We talked for like 5 minutes. I swear it was like destiny. And I think you told me about the Quorum Initiative.
I did.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
And I'm a aggressive follow-upper, doer person. That's who I am. So I followed up. And look, right? I've been to Quorum events. She's introduced me to some great people. I'm introducing Zoe to great people. She's going to be a speaker at my brand new conference.
Yes.
All because I didn't go in there for a numbers game.
Right.
I just went in there and I said, this woman, like, something about her.
Right, absolutely.
So
and you did something really important too, and most people don't take it serious. The follow up. Follow up is really important. And
my background is a sales director, so it's like
those touch points are important. The follow up is really important, and how you show up is really important. And another thing, somebody else.
How you show up and how you are a person of your word.
Absolutely.
Right.
That's how you do anything. It's how you do everything.
I love it.
Isn't that good?
All these cool things go in your book. In your book, Zoe.
It's going in my book.
So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. And so when you talk about kind of like networking, and I think you're really great at this too. Someone said you have to kind of dig the well before you're thirsty, because people can kind of sense the desperation. So just kind of like make it a part of your life. Make success a part of your life. Another thing about it is make sure that you are continuing to gain expertise, whether or not you're listening to podcasts, taking a seminar, attending conferences. You really have to continue to build yourself up.
Always.
And do that constantly. Help others. Ask others what they need and kind of how you can help them. That is really important.
Yeah. And also, wait, I just got to say something here, because I think this is a female trait that it shouldn't be. And another reason for Wonder Woman in Business podcast, because I play hockey.
Yes.
So this is the whole analogy, is that you have to be able to ask.
Absolutely.
For what you want. Because I've seen time and again, women will have the opportunity. Someone will say, "What do you need?"
I know.
And they don't speak up.
They don't.
And I'm the opposite. I'm like, "Can I have a favor? Can I have a favor?"
Right.
But you have to be that way.
It's true.
Especially as an entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
So I think that, yes, you have to be open to that, but you have to ask.
You have to ask. And you know what? Practice.
Right, because it could be nerve-wracking.
It is nerve-wracking. It is nerve-wracking. So, a number of things, a number of emotions. What if the person says no? Well, if they say no, they say no. Well, how do I kind of get over that? But practice. Really practice. And once you do it a few times, it gets easier. And also kind of be clear about what the ask is.
I was going to say that's a really good point.
And sometimes that takes work, because you kind of have to sit down and think about, well, wow, what do I really want, right? So that's kind of like different to understand. So be clear about what the ask is.
And this is such a huge topic. Sorry.
Yeah.
This is a great conversation.
This is it.
It's what I do. What I do for female entrepreneurs is personal branding.
Yes.
And my whole thing is on know your value. So I think before you get the ask, as Kate was saying, have a business plan,
right?
Which was a great idea, People need to do it, but also understand your value before the ask.
Right.
Because you could ask too low.
Absolutely.
Right? You say, well, I need $100, but you might need $1 million.
Absolutely.
It's a ridiculous statement. But
the
point is, you have to know your ask.
Absolutely.
And if you know your ask, right, then you're confident in that ask.
Absolutely.
So then that person, if you're doubting yourself, then that person will doubt you. But if you're confident, you're echoing that, right?
That's true.
That is true. I think that's also really important. I never talked about this on the show yet.
No,
I think it's critical
absolutely.
that what we're talking about now.
It is, because people can sense if you really believe that you are deserving what you're asking for.
Yeah.
They can sense it, and either they give it to you or not. And you know what? If they don't, be willing to walk away. So it was really interesting.
Also important.
Really
There's another
important.
person around the corner.
There is.
Right?
So yes, you talk about nuggets of knowledge, and we talked about the executive breakfast earlier today, hosted by Morgan Stanley Sarah Riga Club. Love Sarah.
We all love Morgan
We
Stanley.
do.
Sarah.
We do. And so what was really interesting, there was an entrepreneur up there, and she highlighted that, you know what, she had to be strategic in saying, you know what, I'm not going to take clients that don't pay me X anymore, and I'm just not going to do it.
That's
and
right.
that was really great and confident. So
Yes, because that's how you move forward. Okay, so we have a couple minutes left.
yes.
So any other research you want to impart on us or anything?
I want to lastly talk about how men can help. And you know,
Oh my God, I didn't even tackle it.
Yeah, it's
Wow,
something, and
that's
we're
like-
going to get into this.
That's like a
really
2-hour
quick.
series.
It
Go
is,
ahead.
but I have some touch points because men always want to know how they can help. So the first thing is, I want all men, even if it's uncomfortable, attend a women's networking event. So within our KPMG's network of women, reach out,
Agreed.
find when the dates are, get a little bit uncomfortable, and go out there and really attend. So you
How else are they going to know? No.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what? It just struck me what you
Absolutely.
said.
Yes.
Wow, Zoe, you're so right.
Absolutely.
So keep going.
The next thing is, if you have females on your team, I want you, not even females or males, schedule monthly or bi-monthly touch bases with everybody on the team and ensure that the females are there as well, separately. And the topic of that conversation is about their career and what they need and how you can support. What happens is men are typically a little bit more assertive. Females kind of go to the background. If you keep it top of mind on the calendar and say, no, tell me this is about you, how I can help you, they'll kind of stay focused on that. Be confident in pointing out the issues when women are not in the room. Typically, women are not always in the boardroom. Let it kind of be you speaking up and say, you know what, where's our pipeline of female leadership? You bring it up if you don't see it. We cannot always be the other woman. I also want them to help a woman get on the board.
Yes.
There are a number of boards that need women. They need women of color. You have access to certain areas. Help a woman get on the board and mentor your woman. Talk to them. Take them out. Those things really will help us move the needle. We need men as allies. We want men as allies.
Absolutely.
And, we'll just have a great time crafting this together.
Yeah, but I love what you said. The first point is they have to know what's going on.
Yes.
And that's what I was talking about with someone else at Morgan Stanley this morning, is that getting men involved, they can't fear it.
Right.
They can't think it's a women's initiative.
No.
That's a label, and I hate labels.
Absolutely.
So if they know, I love what you said, because if they actually know what's going on, then they're included.
Absolutely.
So it shouldn't be a women's initiative, it should be a teaming effort.
It's
right?
a teaming effort, and we need their contribution to really make impact.
Agreed.
Yes.
So anything else you want to, as far as any upcoming events at KPMG you want to share?
So at KPMG, we'll keep you posted both internally and externally. I'm going to share my contact information. Definitely reach out. I'm also going to plan to share this information on social media. ACG Women of Leadership, I will share those upcoming events. Excited for your events as well. We'll always kind of plug those as well.
Thank you. So before we close out the show, I just want to just mention again a couple of events that we have coming up, and one which Zoe is involved with. She's on my committee.
Yes.
Thank God, I have great people on the committee. So as you may or may not know, September 26th here at Luminary, which is where we're sitting right now, which is like the most nurturing women's co-working space that there is. It's really about membership and community, and I'm a member, so I love it. So September 26th, we are having a panel event called The Art of Entrepreneurship. And the Art of Entrepreneurship is bringing together female leaders in the disciplines of the arts across 5 arts: dance, theater, film, music, and visual arts. And it's spurring a conversation about creativity and entrepreneurship. They are not dissimilar. So it's going to be a learning experience. Men are invited, and men are included, and women are, if you're an entrepreneur, you should come to this event.
Absolutely.
And then we are planning with my committee, the Brand You Conference. If you're not familiar with the Brand You Conference, it's in its 2nd iteration. We're planning it for March 2020, which is the 100th year of the women's right to vote, and it's Women's History Month. So it's like a bang month. It's going to be fantastic. Absolutely. The purpose of Brand You is to have a whole day experience of mentoring, coaching, women-to-women support around thought leadership, funding, fundraising. That's Zoe, completely not me. branding and social media. So we will be announcing more about that.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And, at the close of this, I will be sharing Zoe's information, links to KPMG and the other resources that she was so generous to give today. This is like
Absolutely.
such a good episode
Yeah.
because they're going to get so much out of it.
Absolutely. And if I missed an event or if there's another female organization, reach out to me. I'm happy to share it. And also, let me know how I can assist you. I'm happy to be a vessel. I'm happy to really support and men and women. So please reach out and link up with me.
Yes, thank you so much, Zoe.
Thank you.
Hugs.